So today we're going to make my iced coffee that I call a Milky Way because it's caramely and chocolatey and super yummy. So um, tons and tons of people have been asking me for the recipe to tell them how to make it. It's really easy and super cheap. So all the ingredients that you use in it, you buy it like once, and for the most part it lasts like a month or two, depending on how many coffees you have a day. I only have my one, but if anybody else has more than one, then I can't guarantee it's going to last that long. But, so this is how you make it. So I usually try to keep, like coffee cups that I buy from like Starbucks or other types of coffee stands and stuff like that. This one that I'm going to use is my favorite. It's particular, it came from Disneyland. Disney Parks coffee cup. I had to keep it, and use it. So the things that you need are one of these. Now I fill my coffee cup up to about the second line that's usually on the cup, or I'd say it's about a measuring cup of water, maybe. I'm pretty sure, but it's about halfway, a little under halfway up the cup. So you want to start out with probably warm water. Then I don't use regular coffee. I use coffee crystals. They're super fast. You don't have to wait for the coffee to cool down. It's way easier. So, coffee crystals. My handy dandy stir stick here. So I usually just take a pretty decent, like, heaping spoonful of the coffee crystals and pour it in there. Just stir it up. Just coffee. Make sure they're all, dissolved. You don't want any little chunks in there or anything. It doesn't take too much effort. So next is caramel. Now you can use any kind of caramel. I prefer this brand, but you can use, Ghirardelli or whatever. But this one I like the best. I think it mixes the best. Now, it's not really, I don't really measure. It's all kind of to taste. I like my coffees really kind of super sweet, like, not super sweet, but, flavorful. I don't like just bland coffee. So I fill up to about the line you see there. It's probably about, I'd say, a half an inch of syrup in the bottom of it. And then I don't even bother to stir it in because the next I'm going to use some chocolate. Now, you can buy the store brand version of this, but I think this always tastes the best, so I get this one. So, about the same amount, just kind of squeeze for a second. And by that time, you've got probably about an inch worth of syrup in the bottom mixed between the two flavors. Just stir it up. Only takes a second. Okay, now, this is when you start cooling it down. So, got my little handy dandy lid and my straw. Now, I usually like to add a little half and half, just a little bit, so that it's a little creamier. So, just a little dibble dab there. Stir that in. And last but not least, you need ice. So I forgot to bring the ice over here. So I'm going to grab a couple of those with a cup. All right, so I have an ice machine inside my refrigerator. So I've got fresh ice cubes. A bag of ice that you buy at the store works just as well. I find it's a little more difficult when you've got like an ice cube tray, but I just fill it the rest of the way up, as many ice cubes as I can fit into that cup, with still being able to put the lid on. So now it's all stirred up. Stick the lid on, put the straw in. Now, if you're trying to watch your weight or, whatever, you don't have to add any whipped cream, but I'm not too terribly worried about it. This is like my one little decadent treat every day. So, a little more flavor, French vanilla. You just Put it in there, a little bit. And because I'm a weirdo, I like to stir my whipped cream in because it makes it extra creamy. But it takes a minute or two. Gotta drink a little. So there you have it. That's my recipe for an iced Milky Way. Really, really easy. Most of these ingredients are under $5. Whipped cream you can get like 2 for $5 at the store. Coffee crystals are like $3 for a big old jar like this that lasts you a couple of months. Half and half is like under $2. These are probably the two most expensive things, but if you're frugal like me, Costco, you can buy 2 giant things of these for like $4. These are like under $2, I want to say. So everything, minimally, after you've had, quite a few coffees and stuff, I'd say my 1 coffee a day probably cost me under $1 to make them every day for free. So once I've got all this stuff, it saves you way more money than going and trying to buy a $5 grande sized coffee at Starbucks. So there you go. And if you have any questions or comments or any input, feel free to comment below. I'll try to answer as many as I can. So thanks for watching today.